This is macOS Ken.
Ming-Chi has thoughts on the Apple-Google AI deal, sussing the state of the Mac, and a new creative bundle from Apple. It is Wednesday, the 14th of January, 2026. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. Get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with offer code macOSKen at squarespace.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Copilot Money, designed to make your money feel clear, calm, and fully yours. We're about halfway through January, but it is not too late to make a fresh start on your financial future. Make that easier with Copilot Money. Copilot Money helps you understand your finances, stay organized, and make better decisions no matter your starting point. Puts all of your payments, investments, and accounts in one place. Even relatively unusual accounts like Apple Card, Apple Savings, and PayPal. And it works across all of your devices, with apps for iPhone, iPad, and the Mac, and a great new interface for the web. Get a fresh start and make your money work for you in 2026 at try.copilot.money/macOSKen. For a limited time, new users get 26% off your first year after a 2-month free trial with offer code macOSKen. Featured by Apple as an app we love and a must-have finance app, you can try it out with a 2-month free trial with offer code macOSKen. Then new users get 26% off your first year when you sign up at try.copilot.money/macOSKen. Copilot Money. Your money, beautifully organized, now across every device at try.copilot.money/macOSKen. TF International analyst Ming-Chi hit on-demand porn palace XXX on Tuesday with thoughts on the Apple-Google AI partnership. We spent a decent amount of time talking about that yesterday. That's the multi-year collaboration that'll see Apple basing the next generation of Apple Foundation models on Google's Gemini models and cloud technology. Young MC doesn't seem to see this as a long-haul thing. That said, did have to happen now in his estimation. He sees Apple facing 2 short-term AI challenges. 1, this year's WWDC AI showcase can't afford another disappointment. And 2, cloud AI has improved so much since Apple announced Apple Intelligence that just delivering on what they promised a year and a half ago may not be enough. This creates an urgent need for a more powerful, on-device AI model in his estimation. I guess the next question is, or what? According to the analyst, on-device AI isn't expected to drive hardware shipments in the near term. Still, he says the partnership helps Apple relieve short-term pressure from multiple fronts. According to Ming-Chi, it's only a matter of time before AI becomes central to hardware, the operating system, and the overall user experience. So Apple had to grab what it could in AI now, seems to be his thinking. Thing is, it'll still want to do it itself, and he seems to think that they seem to think that they're close to doing that. Quoting his post, Apple's in-house AI server chips are expected to enter mass production in the second half of this year, with its own data centers planned to come online in 2027. This likely means Apple's demand for on-device AI could start to grow more meaningfully from 2027 onward. That sort of seems to go against yesterday's joint statement calling the Apple-Google AI partnership a multi-year collaboration. Then again, 2026 and 2027 are technically multiple years. How are Mac shipments doing? Well, it depends who you ask. Ask IDC, and it is a disaster. Disaster! Which is to say, shipments are flat. Ask Omdia, formerly Canalys, And you get a slightly different answer. To be fair, it's not IDC calling Mac shipments a disaster. Various headlines made it seem that way, though, which kind of set me off. Let's start with the one that generated the most headlines. That would, of course, be the one perceived to be bad news. According to IDC's press release, global PC shipments grew 9.6% year over year in the fourth quarter of 2025, though Apple's did not. All of the top 5 vendors grew shipments double digits in the December quarter versus the same quarter a year ago, except for Apple. By IDC's count, the Cupertino company squeaked out growth of 0.2%. It was a different story for the year, though. Apple shipments grew 11.1% from the whole of 2024 to the whole of 2025, according to the firm. To figure out what happened last quarter, we look to relatively recent history. Looking back to my notes from the year ago holiday quarter earnings call, revenue for the Mac came in around $9 billion, up 16% from the December quarter of calendar year 23. Apple CFO Kevin Perek said the company saw strength across the lineup, from the then new Mac Mini to the latest MacBook Air and MacBook Pro models. Those led to double-digit growth in every geographic segment, according to Perek. So they grew Macs by double digits in the December quarter of 24. For the same quarter a year later, the company maintained the number of shipments or sales with not nearly as many new machines. That does not sound bad. You also couldn't call the fourth quarter flatness unexpected. On the September quarter earnings call, CFO Perek warned against expecting a lot from the Mac for the holiday quarter, thanks to a difficult compare with the same quarter a year earlier. Q4 of calendar year 24 saw the introduction of new MacBook Pro units, Mac Mini models, and iMacs. Also, different firms count differently. While IDC tracked growth of 0.2% for Apple, a press release from Omdia had that firm tracking growth last quarter for Apple computers at 1.9%. Not gangbusters, but not as bad as 0.2. That firm also had 3 of the top 5 PC vendors seeing double-digit growth to IDC's 4. They also tracked greater growth for Mac for the year, seeing annual growth in shipments of 16.4% to IDC's 11.1%. If there's one thing on which the tracking firms can agree, it's about to get worse for most PC vendors. IDC research manager Jitesh Abrani says memory shortages are affecting the entire industry, and the impact will likely reshape market dynamics over the next 2 years. While big players are well positioned to leverage their scale and memory allocations to eat the lunch of smaller vendors, those smaller vendors may not make it. Additionally, consumers, particularly DIY enthusiasts, may delay purchases or shift their spending to other devices or experiences, according to Abrani. You're looking for a new hobby? I'm a big fan of fountain pens and making art. Just saying. For Omdia's part, principal analyst Ben Yeh points out that mainstream PC memory and storage costs rose by 40% to 70% over the course of 2025. Given tight 2026 supply, Yeh says the industry is emphasizing high-end SKUs and leaner mid to low-tier configurations to protect margins. Hang on a second. High-end SKUs? You mean like the MacBook Pro? And leaner mid to low-tier configurations, like the anticipated though unannounced low-cost Mac laptop built to run on Apple's A-series processors? The personal computing map says, "Here there be monsters." Sounds like Apple's map may be detailed. It's a creative bundle that's being met with trepidation because, well, change. Apple issued a press release Tuesday announcing Apple Creator Studio. Beginning the 28th of January, users will be able to get access to Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro, Motion, Compressor, and MainStage for $13 per month or $129 per year after a 1-month free trial. College students and educators get a pretty hefty discount. They can subscribe for $2.99 per month or $29.99 per year. The monthly or annual prices are for access to the Mac and various flavors of iPad. That bundle will also include new AI features and premium content in Keynote, Pages, and Numbers, and eventually Freeform. Apple's release says the various apps, all of which include heaping helpings of AI, will still be available the same way they are now, as standalone downloads, paid or free, depending on which one we're talking about. Now, you may have heard something of Pixelmator Pro in there. Apple's release says that's coming to iPad for the first time ever, with a uniquely crafted experience that is optimized for touch and Apple Pencil. It's also pretty much killing Pixelmator for iOS. A piece from 9to5Mac cites a quote from Apple's new Pixelmator Pro page. According to that, Pixelmator Classic for iOS, released in 2014 as a companion app to the now discontinued Pixelmator Classic for Mac, provides basic image editing features such as cropping, color adjustments, and effects. It remains a functional app, but is no longer being updated. Whether that means it'll still get bug fixes, just not new features, is unclear. The way 9to5Mac reads it, Pixelmator for iOS has probably gotten its last update. Now, if you neither want nor need any AI anything in Pages, Numbers, Keynote, or Freeform eventually, there is good news for you. For now, anyway. Another piece from 9to5Mac indicates that plain old versions will still be out there doing their respective things. That's actually pointed out in Apple's press release as well. It says that the 4 productivity apps will remain free for all users to create, edit, and collaborate with others, including Apple Creator Studio subscribers. These apps will continue receiving updates, with the latest versions adopting the beautiful new visual design language with liquid blah 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 whatever. Some people have already decided that this whole thing is terrible. Some see it as the inevitable blankification of every online thing. Some see the whole thing as everything Apple makes eventually costing something per month. Folks are certainly allowed to feel their feels. I will say I was turned on by David Todd McCarty on Mastodon, nothing kinky. I was turned on by his thinking because he had an interesting take. I'm not familiar with Mr. McCarty, though he describes himself in his Mastodon bio as the grand poobah of AI haters. So what's his take on the news? Most of this is the kind of AI I can get behind, lining up edits with music beats or finding a piece of dialogue by searching for it. That works for me. Don't create anything, but give me tools. That said, he's not excited about adding a subscription. For me, it would be trading a subscription, one for another. I pay a monthly fee for Adobe Audition because I've used it, or its cool edit predecessor, for nearly 30 years. This would cost me about half what my Adobe subscription's costing me, provided I can get my head around Logic. I know, Logic is overkill for a podcast in more ways than one, but so's Adobe Audition. At least if anything goes wrong, I can blame AI. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. How do you get your site seen? Squarespace has tools to help. Each Squarespace site is built to be noticed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more. If users are looking for something like you, Squarespace will help them find you. Of course, you want to have something great for them to see once they find you. You can start with their library of award-winning website templates or use Blueprint AI, the AI-enhanced Squarespace builder. Using basic information about what you do, what you're trying to do, and the mood you're trying to set, Blueprint AI can help you build a fully custom website in just a few steps. That is just some of the tools they have to offer. Check them all out for yourself at squarespace.com/MacOSKen to start your free trial. Then when you're ready to launch, use offer code MacOSKen to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. See what's new with Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/MacOSKen for a free trial, then use offer code MacOSKen for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. Get started today at squarespace.com/MacOSKen. The latest OS beta parade is going public. Pieces from Mac Rumors say Apple on Tuesday seeded the second 26.3 betas of iOS, iPadOS, macOS Tahoe, watchOS, and tvOS to members of its public testing program. These betas are few and far between so far. Yesterday's lot trails the first public betas by about a month. We'll wrap the day with some Apple TV news. For you fans of tennis, documentaries, and or just plain famous people, the Cupertino streamer issued a press release Tuesday announcing a docuseries about tennis icon Andre Agassi. The release name checks the Agassi memoir, Open, an autobiography, so guess it's going to be based on that. Both are based on his life, so similar ground covered either way. It'll be directed by Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Chris Smith. Smith also directed the Apple TV docuseries Hollywood Con Queen, among other titles. So far, the Agassi series has neither a release date nor a title. If you're looking for something bigger and sooner, there is a new Titan on the loose. Apple TV issued a second press release Tuesday, dropping a second teaser for the second season of Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. It's got more Godzilla, it's got more Kong, and it's got a new Titan not pulled from Godzilla's 70-something year history. According to the release, Titan X isn't just another monster, it's a living cataclysm. When its massive bioluminescent form breaks the surface of the ocean, the world seems to hold its breath. In Season 2, Titan X stands at the center of the mystery, an ancient force emerging from the deep, its purpose uncertain, its power unmatched, its awe and terror in equal measure. Also, Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell playing the same dude. Who doesn't love that? Season 1 of Monarch is available to stream now on Apple TV. The first episode of the second season hits the Cupertino streamer on Friday, the 27th of February. You can see the second season 2 teaser on YouTube. And finally today, Idris Elba is back in the Apple TV house. The second season of the thriller series Hijack has started its run. Describing Season 2, Apple says a Berlin underground train and its commuters are taken hostage, while above ground, authorities scramble to save hundreds of lives. Sam Nelson, played by Elba, is at the heart of the crisis on board, where one wrong decision could spell disaster. Disaster! The entire first season of Hijack is available on Apple TV. You can catch episode 1 of Season 2 right there, right now. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and sponsored by Copilot Money. Get a 2-month free trial with offer code macOSKen at try.copilot.money/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Squarespace. Get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with offer code MacOSKen at squarespace.com/MacOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social, You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray. Disaster!